Hi, this is Karen Gaines, your Nonprofit Finance Guide, and today I am going to talk about 5 common errors I see nonprofit organizations make. Nonprofits are very important to our communities. They make our communities better, safer, and more aware of what is going on around us to those who are vulnerable. Executive directors, staff, and volunteers work very hard to make nonprofits work and provide care to those who need it most. However, there are some common errors I see in the nonprofit arena. So I'm going to talk about 5 common errors I see nonprofits make. Number 1, the financial statements are not set up correctly. I often see the financial statements of nonprofits set up incorrectly. They are often set up as a for-profit business. Overall, the financial statements of a nonprofit should resemble the setup of the 990 tax return. There should be a separation between administrative transactions, program services, and fundraising transactions. Many times, these transactions and accounts are all bundled together, and the tax accountant is left having to figure out which amount goes to which category on the 990s. Additionally, since financial statements are not set up correctly, it is difficult to read them. This can result in missed opportunities to improve the financials, as it will be hard to identify trends and even potential errors. If your financials are not set up to resemble the 990s and it is difficult to read, make plans to update your financials. Number 2, little to no financial planning. Financial planning involves taking the time to think ahead about your nonprofit financially. The most popular is creating a budget. I feel many nonprofits do not engage in financial planning because they don't know how to and they don't realize the importance of it. When you engage in financial planning, it gives you the opportunity to review current spending. It allows you to think about ways to increase revenue, enter funding, determine how much of a surplus you want for your nonprofit, decide if you want to apply for and utilize grants, and it also helps you identify and think about anything else related to your finances. So, if you don't do any financial planning right now, I recommend that you at least put a budget together. We're at the end of 2024, so it's a perfect time to put together a budget for 2025. Number 3, lack of funding diversity. Some nonprofits rely on 1 or 2 major funding sources. This could be a large donor or a large grant that has been getting awarded for the last several years. The danger in relying on 1 or 2 funding sources is that if something happens to that funding source, then your nonprofit is significantly negatively affected. This can result in services being affected in the community and the vulnerable members of society going without the care they need. Lack of funding diversity leads to a very shaky foundation for your nonprofit, as you do not know when funding will be pulled from the funding source you are relying on most. If this describes you, it is a good idea to start thinking about ways to generate more funding outside of the 1 or 2 funding sources you are currently depending on. Number 4, lack of marketing and outreach. I'm sometimes surprised at how much existing donors and funders are aware of certain nonprofits because their marketing and outreach is almost non-existent. I've always believed marketing and outreach was important so people can learn about the nonprofit. It means letting the public know who you are and what you are doing to help the community. As a result, more people will be encouraged to give and provide support for your nonprofit organization. Number 5, no disaster plan. No disaster plan in place. COVID-19 forced everyone to adjust to a new reality very quickly. Nonprofits and other businesses needed cash quickly, and plans had to be made in order to deal with the pandemic just announced. Having a disaster plan in place helps direct the organization as to what it should do when a disaster or emergency occurs. This preserved this preserves the nonprofit and also ensures its consumers are provided for as well. A disaster plan often leads to reserving cash so it can be utilized when the unexpected happens. This may mean reserving a percentage of your donations to a reserve account every month until you have obtained a sizable amount. While you can't plan for every single disaster or anticipate every single disaster, it is good to do your best to prepare for what you can so you are not in scrambles when the unexpected takes place. So, in conclusion, running a nonprofit organization it's very hard work. I am very aware of that, and there are many responsibilities to juggle. Addressing the above areas is much easier said than done. You're gonna have to take time out of your schedule and address each area that I've covered. But by addressing the above the common errors I commonly see, nonprofits can have a strong foundation and ensure long-term sustainability. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know what you all think. If you're watching via YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great day.